See on the left, the original picture, two women protesting the drag shows, and on the right, the modified image, this time a poster promoting the drag.
Love it. Love it. I think that's freedom of speech.
Show event with protesters holding signs telling customers to secure tickets. And in another, the same effect, signs against the drag shows covered up, instead highlighting East Frank's burrito special.
The restaurant in Monroe, East Frank Superette and Kitchen.
Even we can't protest that. This is clearly satire. This falls under the First Amendment. We're going to go to North Carolina now, where a Union County restaurant has been sued. They have been accused of altering pictures. What? The headline doesn't make sense to me. They've been accused of altering pictures to show support for drag shows. Let's find out. Let's find out what's going on here, because I need some explanation.
This week, a group of Monroe residents is suing a restaurant over false advertising.
Yeah, the suit says East Frank Superette and Kitchen is using their photos and altering them, placing advertisements over them. You might remember we first started following the story last year. Some community members were protesting the restaurant's drag shows, saying children should not be allowed inside during the performances. Well, the restaurant tells WCNC Charlotte it's the guardian's choice to bring a minor with them.
WCNC Charlotte's Austin Walker is following the developments and breaks down this lawsuit.
The action shows the photo evidence where the plaintiffs say East Franks took their photos and altered them. Now, the original shows pictures from a protest, but the altered ones have advertisements over it. In the heart of downtown Monroe, East Frank Superette and Kitchen has been a hot topic. For the past year, backlash from some in the community over drag show performances, taking issues with children being allowed in the audience. And new this week, the controversy hits the courts. A lawsuit coming down this week from community members against the restaurant alleging false advertising.
This is conduct that's gone on for many, many months.
Jason Sneed, an attorney representing the plaintiffs, says the suit states East Franks reportedly used photos from protesters and then altered the images.
Oh, good.
You can see on the left the original picture, two women protesting the drag shows, and on the right, the modified image, this time a poster promoting the drag.
Love it. Love it. I think that's freedom of speech.
Show event with protesters holding signs telling customers to secure tickets. And in another, the same effect, signs against the drag shows covered up, instead highlighting East Frank's burrito special.
The restaurant in Monroe, East Frank Superette and Kitchen.
Okay. So the photo said, even we can't protest that. This is clearly satire. This falls under the First Amendment. Hey, Sadilla, good evening.
Burrito special.
The restaurant in Monroe, East Frank Superette and Kitchen, has been taking their photos and manipulating them to create the false impression online that the citizens are in fact supportive of the restaurant.
Clearly satire.
I would like to see children protected.
Michelle Ball is one of the people who's a part of this suit and is seen in some of the changed photos. She says she wants the drag shows to stop altogether and hopes the lawsuit will ensure that.
If it's not your kid, why do you care?
So I care about children. I care about the children in our community.
In response to the suit, Carly Englander, the owner of East Frank Superette and Kitchen, says they in part, quote, believe this lawsuit to be politically motivated. But this leaves the question, is changing the photos legal?
East Frank Superette probably needs to hire a lawyer.
Gary Monty, an attorney not affiliated with this suit, says no.
You have to have their consent before you can do that.
He says the image altering violates the Lanham Act. It's a federal law which protects people from false advertising and explains it using an example easy to understand.
You can't take a private individual's likeness without their permission and without paying them, and then you use that to sell a product.
Both sides wondering now how this will play out in court.
I don't know, because I think that's clearly satire. Because they're not trying to pass it off as that's my reason. So they're not passing off, like, no one would reasonably believe that those women were holding up those signs in the pictures. They're clearly mocking the protests. That falls under satire. That is a protected speech in the First Amendment. I understand when you're using it for commerce. This is actually a very interesting case, because I see their argument. But, like, it's once again, like, if someone was to sue me for what I do on the Troll Patrol, I do a show with a troll head. We are clearly satire here. So it's going to be interesting to see how the court rules on this one. And they might actually teach this case in, like, communications law for years to come.